Thank you, Michelle. The Lakers open up with their regular starting five, not Walton. And you saw the full court pressure applied by Detroit from the outset, and O'Neal on the other end banks one home for a 10-point LA lead.
And that's the execution that Michelle was talking about. And she's right. You know, in the first half, they scored points, but it was more off their defense and forcing turnovers. I think Phil Jackson is still upset that they can't score in the half-court offense right now.
Ben Wallace to Rasheed Wallace, who didn't play at all in the second quarter. So again, as was the case the other night, 2 early fouls, came out, and then comes out and scores here to open the third period for Detroit.
Well, he's the one guy that's well rested. You know,
yes.
It's the second game in a row that he has set the entire first half for the most part.
10 minutes total for him. O'Neal. And then Wallace is there, the well-rested one for the rebound. Tayshaun Prince guarded by Bryant. Hamilton with George on him right now. Then Wallace outside, and Malone.
Because he knows he can't move his feet. So usually when you can't move your feet, you do more reaching.
Walton reassuming what has been a customary position for a guy who plays a few minutes a game. Here's Hamilton, gets free and in and out, but Wallace is there. Rasheed for the rebound. All the way to the other side. Hamilton for 3. That doesn't go either. And then O'Neal has the rebound taken away from him. And Shaq goes down.
Now,
and a foul.
I just saw something that I never thought was possible. Tayshaun Prince just knocked Shaquille O'Neal down. That's like a featherweight knocking a super heavyweight down. Impossible.
Well, Prince is listed at about, what, 190 or so?
Wet.
Very wet. And Shaq is 340, but it's kind of that Gilbert Brown 340.
Yeah, it really is.
Anytime a guy's that big, they always list him as 340.
They just stop. Yeah. That's where the scale stops.
And whatever he is, Shaq misses that one, but it'll go to the free throw line.
So 3 times down so far in the second half, and 3 times Shaquille O'Neal has touched the basketball. So I'm pretty sure that during the halftime, Phil Jackson said, let's get it to Shaq.
Foul that time on Ben Wallace, and that's 3 on him. O'Neal from the line tonight is 4 of 7, now 5 of 8. So Shaq, who was shooting miserably in the first 3 rounds of the playoffs, was 8 for 12 the other night, 5 out of 8 tonight.
And it looks good.
Yeah.
Sometimes the ball just goes in. It looks good right now.
He looks good, and he keeps moving back from that line, but I've been watching all of their games. I think 15 feet 8 inches is perfect. When it goes beyond 16, a problem.
You know, they should put a little mark out there for
right. Here's where you line up for your picture. Hamilton into traffic. And a blocking foul here. Foul is on Kobe Bryant, his second foul. Non-shooting.
You know, Michelle talked about before the game about Kobe Bryant guarding Rip Hamilton. And, you know, first half he guarded Rip, Hamilton, Billups, and everyone. It will be interesting at the end of the game how much juice he has left, because he's doing both today. He's guarded Rip. When Chauncey started to go, they put him on Chauncey. Now he's back on Rip because Rip is going. Obviously, he's a designated defender. It'll be interesting at the end of the game if that takes away from his offense.
Billups drew the foul. Foul is on Devin George. That's his first. Chauncey Billups, the big guy the other night with 22, has 7 tonight. Now you can make it 8 with that one. The 8-point right there. Only 2 field goals for him. Point number 9 makes it an 8-point game. LA up by 8 early third quarter. Game 2. Detroit up a game. 1 game to nothing. Will be in Auburn Hills, Michigan, Thursday. That's game 3. Sunday night is game 4.
Boy, you can see the triangle with this view because of the view and how much spacing that the Lakers are getting in their offense.
Bryant finds George. And instead of a triangle, that's a straight line pass and a 10-point lead.
A lot of second shots given up by both teams right now.
Devin George's first points of the game. Underneath Ben Wallace, woo, and that is 2 colossi going down.
Yeah,
this is what you'd call it.
It really is, and in my opinion, they shouldn't call it flagrant. Shaquille O'Neal grabbed Ben Wallace more to break his fall instead of breaking his neck.
And that's why you have a discussion right now with the officials.
Yeah, you can see he was just trying to hold on to anything there. Unfortunately for Ben Wallace, he was there. And I think this is good if they don't call a flagrant foul. If they do, I don't like it.
It has the look of not calling one, even though they're still discussing it.
Now, I've been taught as a player, and I teach my players to stay down if you're Ben Wallace, because sometimes you can get to flagrant if you do that. This is a good decision not to do it. You can see there was no ill intent.
So it's just your garden variety shooting foul.
I don't know if Ben Wallace agrees with us right now.
In the box score, that's all it'll look like. He's 0 for 3 now from the line.
See, I think in the box score, it should say foul and then put an S by Shaq, because I think that hurts a little bit more than a regular foul.
His first of 4, and the lead is 9 for the Lakers right now. George gives it back to Bryant. Prince on Kobe, taken away by the quick hands, but Kobe gets it back. 7 on the 24. Whips it over to Malone. Underneath to O'Neal.
I've said it before, but Karl Malone, because he played with John Stockton, no one talked about his passing enough. He's a great passer.
Lakers with their biggest lead of the game, and that was tipped by Payton, and the Lakers do get the steal.
Karl Malone is barely moving up and down the floor, and he has just caused the last 2 plays.
Payton goes all the way. Ben Wallace gets the rebound. Then Kobe reaches in from behind to foul Billups. Back to the Malone assist.
I mean, this is a bullet. First of all, you have to have great hands, and I think that's something that a lot of people don't talk about with Shaq, and he does. He has great hands, because that was a great pass, but a very tough pass to catch.
Foul on Bryant was his 3rd. So Kobe is the only Laker with more than 2.
And that's dangerous, you know, right now, because you have Kobe Bryant guarding Billups or Rip Hamilton. And if he picks up that 4th foul, they're going to need someone else in to defend one or both of those guys. I don't know if they have another one.
Lakers are already over the limit with less than 4 minutes having elapsed in this period. That's their 5th foul. Lakers with 16 assists to Detroit's 9. You saw the turnover totals right there, and that one goes out of bounds, and the Pistons trying to climb back in right now after the Lakers had led by 11. It's down to 9, and they have the ball.
And in penalty, which you just mentioned, which is huge this early in a quarter.
Billups behind the back. And I was looking over at Larry Brown. He just put his head in his lap. It's up now. His head went, there it is. That was the original look.
You know, some coaches count to 10 when bad things happen. The problem is, if you're not coaching a great team, you'll miss the game.
Payton. Quick hands of Big Ben to swipe it away.
Yeah, travel.
Turnover by the Pistons. That's their 13th of the game. The Lakers have given it up 9 times. 7.5 remaining in the 3rd quarter. The Lakers trying to square the series at a game apiece up on Detroit, 52-43.
The NBA Finals on ABC, brought to you by Toyota Tundra Double Cab, not just big, life-sized. Nokia, connecting people. Paramount Pictures, the new film The Manchurian Candidate, starts Friday, July 30th, only in theaters. And Coors Aspen Edge, so good it doesn't even know it's low carb.
7:52.
Wow.
It's tied for the 14th longest day of the year.
Wow.
The 13th, well, I think the 21st is the longest. Think of the Lakers. They came from Minneapolis, came out here in '60. Remember, the Pistons were the Fort Wayne Pistons. You know, it's funny. I'm thinking about the Pistons. Fred Zollner owned them early on. He was in the auto parts industry, so he named them the Pistons, which was appropriate. Then they moved to Detroit, and it was still appropriate. But the Lakers, named after the land of 10,000 lakes.
Yeah.
So now they moved to the land of 10 lakes, but they're still the Lakers. You don't even think about the affiliation anymore.
And Utah is still the Jazz.
That's right.
The Hornets are still the Hornets.
Right.
You know, it's amazing.
You carry the name with you.
Yeah, you do.
Sometimes it works, and sometimes you go, what?
Yeah.
Dodgers, of course, carried the name west as Kobe Bryant sinks one from just inside the arc. Long two.
And Phil Jackson didn't draw that one up.
No.
That was just great offense because the defense was pretty good.
Wallace with a turnaround, and so Rasheed, who was on the bench most of the first half, comes out 2 for 2 to begin the third period.
Yeah, and if I'm Larry Brown, I look and seek out Rasheed Wallace for 2 reasons. One, he has a size advantage over Karl Malone, a quickness advantage, and Malone is injured and playing.
What a pass by Malone to a cutting Devin George inside.
You know, basically, they've made Malone now the passer. They know he's struggling moving, so what they're doing is giving him the ball and moving around him.
On the offensive end and the defensive end, of course, he does all of the dirty work. He had Tim Duncan. He had Kevin Garnett. And right now he has Rasheed Wallace, who beats him again. So
yeah.
Wallace with a half dozen now in the period.
I think it's a good move by Larry Brown because he knows right now that Malone isn't moving well, and he also can see that Rasheed Wallace is starting to get it going.
Bryant, pressured by Prince, shoots over him. And then fighting his way for the rebound was O'Neal, and he will be called for the foul, his third.
And it's amazing when you look. You can see right now, this is where Karl Malone is looking. I mean, you can look at his eyes, but watch the back cut of Devin George. Bam, right there. Sometimes you have a first option and a second option. George was the second option. It's like a quarterback checking off. I'm giving you these football references pretty good tonight.
Doc, I mean, you know, if you hadn't taken the Celtic job, John Madden would be very worried right now. Meanwhile, Kobe has a little blood on him. They're going to wipe it off, and unless that's taken care of immediately, as Dr. Steve Lombardo comes out along with the trainer, Gary Vitti. Kobe says it's like a fight. You know, hey, ref, here I am. You know,
Well, guys hide. It's amazing, that blood rule. You'll see guys hiding, trying to stay away from the officials. It's pretty funny sometimes what guys will do to get unnoticed in those cases.
Ben Wallace at the line makes the second. Quite in contrast to hockey, where you'll do anything you can to cut yourself
Yeah.
after a penalty call to get 5 minutes instead of 2. Bryant softly. Wow.
I'm watching the interplay right now with Rip Hamilton and Kobe Bryant, and we all knew that these two guys grew up together. You're watching them play right now. They're going after each other.
High school rivals in Pennsylvania. What a move by Wallace to bank it in.
That is an absolutely great move. And you can see Shaq late there. He was trying to get there. I think they're going to start bringing Shaq over a little bit quicker to help.
Payton works it inside, and then Malone gets fouled by Wallace.
And Wallace was caught sleeping. Karl Malone slipped in there. I'll tell you, Karl Malone right now, hats off, because you can see him struggling, and this might be his best stretch. It is his best stretch in the finals so far. He's been very effective.
Third foul on Wallace. And it's almost, and we talked about it when he went out earlier, Doc, it's almost mind over matter right now. You know he's hurting. He was hurting coming into the game. He tweaked it again. He went back to the locker room for a while, got into a little verbal exchange with Gary Vitti, the trainer, and just playing through everything right now.
Yeah, he really is. And I tell you what he's doing now. He reminds me of an old veteran player who knows everything. You know, he can't do everything physically, but he's just a step smarter with his brain right now than the other guys on the floor.
9-point game. Dr. Tafoya.
Well, no more on his physical condition, but I can tell you emotionally, yesterday I spoke with him. He was quite emotional when he said it's important to him to get a championship, Malone. But he said the most important legacy I want to leave with my team is that they all know that I am a caring person that cared for every single guy on the bench from 1 to 12. And from every other Laker that I've talked to, they certainly do know that. He has been the big brother that this locker room has needed, Al.
Bryant has to take a timeout, and Billups doing everything he can to keep Detroit in the game and make it a lot tougher for Malone to win that elusive title. That 3 made it a 6-point game. Timeout, Lakers. Lakers 59. Pistons 53. And you're watching the NBA Finals on ABC Sports Championship Television.
Now,
Guys badger their agents because the agents can afford it too.
Yeah, that's true.
Here's Bryant. And then Malone tries to get it over to Shaq and out of bounds, but off Detroit. And they'll reset the clock to 14.
It's funny. Kobe's looking at
The clock at 2, and it stays at 2, which means it's an inbound pass and then a quick shot.
Where's Fisher?
He's on the bench. Here's Malone. He has to launch one. That would have brought the house down. But Bryant keeps it alive for LA. Ticking down to 4 minutes left in the period. 6-point LA lead.
Wow.
Shaq inside. Wallace impeded it enough on the front end that Shaq had to go to the backside.
Yeah, I tell you, Shaq got it so deep. I'm really surprised he didn't try to dunk that. You know, you're looking at this game, and it looks like the Lakers are dominating the game. It's a 6-point game right now.
6-point game. Detroit not making it easy. And open is Hamilton. And now it is a 3-point game.
That play was called. It's amazing the little things in our game. That play was called by Rasheed Wallace. You know, we talked about Shaq coming to double. He did. By him doubling, the Lakers had to rotate and then left the open guy.
And then Payton, who had everybody covered, and looked at Malone saying, Carl, you should have come back to me, and that caused him to walk with it.
And Carl's thinking, I couldn't come back. I can't move out here. It's amazing how quickly games can change and momentum can change. Right now, Detroit is thinking we can steal this game.
Crowd gets nervous.
NBA Finals on ABC. The crowd is winning. It's June 11th.
Play up by 3, and it was made a 3-point Detroit deficit as they made the last 5 field goals on a 3-point shot by Hamilton.
Now, I want to show you why. We talked about the little things. Shaq comes over to double team. Rip will space out. Ben Wallace will then dive, which will take Devin George right there and will free up Rip Hamilton. All the little things. You can see that. The help, that gives Rip room. The ball swing, bam, Rip Hamilton makes the shot. But that shot was caused because Rasheed Wallace had just scored the last 3 times on the post. Shaq decides to double team, which we said he probably would do. And unfortunately for the Lakers, that frees up Rip Hamilton for the 3, and now it's a 3-point game.
3.5 to go in the third. Let's check in with Stuart Scott.
Al, a few timeouts ago, Larry Brown was as upset as we've seen him the last couple of games. He was telling his team, you guys got to move the ball. Throw it to your teammate. I promise they will throw it back. He was more mellow this time out, but he did keep saying, move the ball from side to side. Get the ball from one person to another. While he was doing this, Chauncey Billups, who usually doesn't say a whole lot, yelled at his teammates, guys, all that stuff that's happened to us, and we're right here. And just before they got up to leave the huddle, Larry Brown said, hey, guys, hey, we got to win this next 3 minutes.
Larry Brown breaking the game down into segments. Billups got fouled, and so Chauncey will go to the free throw line.
And we talked about that in game 1. The Detroit Pistons were talking about winning the first 3 minutes and the last 3 minutes of the half and quarters, and they're doing that right now.
In comes Campbell with a start. Now, Wallace goes out. Starter against starter tonight when the starting 5 has remained on the floor mano a mano. Detroit is up 32-25. Here's Michelle.
Well, guys, I just spoke with Kurt Rambis during the timeout. He agreed. Rasheed Wallace giving them problems. I said, at what point is Karl Malone become a defensive liability? And he said, ooh, that's a good question. Look for some substitutions soon, guys.
Not yet, because Malone right now still in the game. Lakers with their starting five, and O'Neal gets fouled by Campbell after Detroit cuts what at one point was an 11-point lead to 1.
I tell you, Shaquille O'Neal, Al, in Game 1 and in Game 2, has been as aggressive as I've seen him all year, in a consistent basis. When he gets the ball on the post right now, he is going for it, and he is playing hard.
It's June.
Yeah, he can see the finish line.
Yeah. This is the first here. That foul on Campbell was his 4th. And again, Luke Walton, so instrumental in the surge in the first half, remains on the bench. Or in Luke's case, he just likes to sit on the floor. 60-58. Lakers on top by 2. Under 3 to go in the 3rd quarter. And the importance of the second game, no team has ever lost the first 2 at home and won the championship. A dilemma which would face the Lakers if the Pistons pull this one out. Prince drives, reverse, doesn't go, but there is Campbell in the lane to keep it alive. To Hamilton, got it back. And then the ball, with it going out of bounds, kicked out of bounds. And a foul on Malone, I think.
Yeah. You know, it was a great sales job by Rip Hamilton. I actually thought he was tripped, but what Rip Hamilton did, and players do this, they go to the floor, they make sure that they're going to get the call. I mean, let's take a look here. Yeah, Rip Hamilton decided, I'm going to fall, I'm going to force the call, and pretty smart move by Rip Hamilton.
It gets him to the line because the Lakers long ago were over the limit in fouls in the period. In now comes Meadow Cooler, and he replaces Eldon Campbell again with all the guys guarding Shaq. We talked about it the other night. Doc mentioned you've got 24 fouls in effect if you need them. So it's no big deal when a guy picks up 4. You have 3 other guys who fill that role.
No, if any team is suited for foul trouble at the 4 or 5 position, the Detroit Pistons, they're the team.
And one of the stunning things the other night is that the Lakers out-fouled the Pistons. Lakers didn't even take a free throw until it was late in the second half in terms of free throws after the break. Foul here.
That's what Phil Jackson was talking about. You know, besides the Lakers needing to play better defense, he also thought that the Lakers needed to attack the basket more. And they didn't do that. They're doing that more tonight, though they did it in the first half. They're not doing a great job right now of doing it in the second half. You don't go to the foul line if you don't attack the basket.
Shaq again. Shaquille is now 8 out of 12, which is where he wound up the other night from the free throw line. So hitting 67%. Lakers still lead by 2 after that miss with 2:10 to go in the 3rd. Payton pressures Billups. Chauncey found some room, and then O'Neal is there. Ball on the way down, but wouldn't have gone in, so it's no goaltending. And Gary Payton now brings it into the front court for LA. Bryant over into the corner. Malone.
I tell you, he has been absolutely fantastic, and it's not been with his shooting. You know, he makes the shot there, which is a good sign. To me, it's more all the little things that he's done.
9 for Karl tonight. Billups. Follow is short by Wallace.
Even that play, but look at him go up the floor.
Bryant. Larry's team down by 6. 1 minute remaining in the 3rd. Billups got it. 3.
Gary Payton chose to go under. All evening so far, Payton's done a fantastic job in my opinion, because he's worked over the pick and roll. On that one time, he decided to go under it, and Billups burned him.
Billups now has 19 points. Here's Devin George from the corner. 68-62. Billups again goes by Payton, and Gary fouls him on the way to the hoop.
You know, it was interesting. Gary Payton was talking to Shaq. By the time he turned around, Billups was already up on him. That's why he just committed that foul.
Spotted the opening. Here comes Derek Fisher into the game. Lindsey Hunter will close out the period for Detroit. Billups 9 out of 10, now 10 out of 11 from the free throw line. To Michigan we go Thursday night after tomorrow, 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. Game 3, Lakers Pistons. Game 3 Thursday. 4th game is Sunday night. 5th game, if necessary, next Tuesday night. Finals on a Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday rotation. And that would be the case for games 5, 6, and 7 if necessary. Bryant gets free from 3.
And that was a heat check.
Ooh, yeah.
It really was, because you can see Kobe starting to feel it right now. Big shot here for the Pistons.
Pistons will, in all likelihood, get the final shot of the quarter. Milking it down. Kobe stays with Billups, but then Billups gets free inside. Now Bryant trying to push the ball up the court for the final shot of the period. Kobe will stop, starts to slip. And that prayer doesn't get answered, and it's a 2-point game. So we are set up for another pretty good finish here in game 2. Huge game, especially for the Lakers, who right now face the prospect of going down 2 games to love. 68-66 at the end of 3. This presentation of the NBA Finals on ABC continues after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Days ago, it's a rout. It's the West against the East. The Lakers, it's a coronation. It might be a sweep. Huh?
Well, they were serving champagne here in game 1 in the front row. I guess when you pay that much, you should. But, you know, you look at the series, and so far, it's been about defense. And in this game, it's been, to me, the Lakers have decided to join this series defensively, and that's why they're leading the game. But if you're looking at Detroit and Larry Brown, he's thinking, you know what, guys, it ain't all bad. We're only down 2 with the 1-0 lead in this series.
And for the Lakers, this is a gigantic quarter. I'm not diminishing what it means to Detroit, but at least for Detroit, they've already wrested home court advantage. The Lakers faced with a prospect of going down 0-2. Detroit just scored 30 points in that quarter. It's the first time they've hit the 30 mark in the equivalent of almost 8 full games since the Nets series. Lakers had 24. Here's Stewart.
Al, again, Larry Brown showing why he is the consummate coach. He goes through all of their planning, all of their strategy for the timeout, and then he says to the guys, look, they're supposed to beat us. We're not supposed to beat them, especially the way we played in the first half. And they're only 2 points down. And as they broke the huddle, Rasheed Wallace yelled at his teammates twice. He said, be hungry. Be hungry. Al?
X's and O's and a little bit of psychology. And that is Prince getting the rebound off the missed Okur shot.
I tell you, Tayshaun Prince has been very effective in this game.
He's not lighting it up, but he's doing all the little things like that just there. He had 5 points in the first quarter and none since. 3-pointer on the way from Hunter, and there it is again.
Yeah, he keeps making little plays. That's what Larry Brown needs him to do.
Hamilton to try to tie it, and does. So the Detroit Pistons down by 11 in the third have caught him with Rasheed Wallace on the bench. Billups had 16 points in the third quarter, 8 of 8 from the line. Docky was the X factor the other night. He's the X factor tonight too, along with Prince.
And the Laker X factor in the first half hasn't played in the second half.
O'Neal missing, and Detroit with the ball and a chance to take the lead for the first time since the second period. Loose in the lane, and Hunter comes away with it. Shot clock to 7. Hamilton fell down. Now to 3. And you'll hear the buzzer and the 24-second violation.
Wow. That might have been the worst fast break I've ever seen. Wow.
That'd be the worst possession
Yeah, that
you've
was
seen in a while.
It started out as a fast break, and it turned into a bad possession. Here comes Luke Walton, just like you just said. You know, he hasn't played in this second half, so Phil Jackson is leaning on a rookie down the stretch of the game.
And now you have Ben Wallace trying to steal it, and it goes out of bounds, and it's off Wallace. Corliss Williamson will check in. Prince goes out.
Yeah, well, if you thought the Shaq-Ben Wallace collision was bad, Derek Fisher is thinking right now, this is worse.
Brian Cook is now going to come into the game, too. Another look here.
Brian Cook is coming into the game because on that last play, that was Nebedinko that should have flashed to the ball. He didn't. Almost caused a turnover. Phil Jackson can't afford to wait right now for anyone.
Cook, their #1 draft choice, who doesn't play very much and hasn't played at all tonight, winds up on the floor and winds up in a jump ball situation.
Now you're seeing right now, Al, the weakness of the Laker bench. You know, it's a tie game. You lost the first game. There's 10 minutes left, and you have 2 rookies in the game for the Lakers who really haven't played in the playoffs.
It's crazy with so much on the line. Cook and Wallace wins the tip. So Detroit again trying to take the lead, erasing an 11-point deficit. Hamilton guarded by Kareem Rush. Rush got a hand in. Now Walton comes out to pressure. Hamilton gets it to Okur with Shaq 20 feet from the basket. Three-pointer here. Goes from Lindsey Hunter.
Boy, Derek Fisher took his eyes off of Lindsey Hunter for 1 second, and that 1 second cost him 3 points.
Detroit's first lead since it was 30-29. Rush got it. 71-70 Detroit. Hunter, who won a ring as a Laker.
This is going to Rip Hamilton.
Instead, underneath to Okur. It's dropped out of bounds off Okur's knee. Should have gone to Hamilton.
It should have. It was, because Hamilton was coming off. They decided to help, and the good look by Lindsey Hunter, because Okur was open.
Now Fisher, pressured from behind. Off balance, Ben Wallace clears the board.
Bad possession.
And then Hunter gets fouled by Walton as he crosses midcourt. 8:49 remaining in the fourth in a very nervous Staples Center. Detroit on top of the Lakers, 71-70.
You can dodge a wrench.
He's worth $1.3 billion. He bought a jet online, an NBA team on a whim. Mark thinks he's the luckiest person alive. Now he's going to make someone the second luckiest by giving away $1 million.
What's going to happen next?
How will he do it?
The game is going to twist and turn just like that.
Only Mark knows for sure.
The only rules to the game are there are no rules.
He does like to mess with your head.
My game.
Mark Cuban is the benefactor. ABC Mondays this fall. Everyone.
Doc, Phil Jackson has a look on his face in December and then a little different look in February, and then he has the June look.
Yeah, this is June. This is full June look right now, and you know, he is really barking orders right now, something you don't see a lot from Phil Jackson because he's so calm and he tries to get his players to play under that calm. But I'm going to tell you right now, Phil Jackson is sensing the sense of urgency in this game, and he's trying to get his players to see it also. I also think at times Phil Jackson, he puts in young guys and different guys to send messages to his other veteran players, and I think that little stint we saw was one of the reasons he did that.
Heck of a time to send a message.
Now, he decided to go real small.
And there's Walton trying to steal it and out of bounds.
Interesting. Larry Brown is huge. Phil Jackson has gone the other way. I mean, look what he has on the floor. He basically has Shaq and 4 smalls.
He has Fisher and he has Rush, and that makes Kobe the small forward. Walton in the game. O'Neal as well. And they force the turnover.
And you know what Phil Jackson said before the game? We have to pressure them. We have to put ball pressure on them. He hasn't been able to get it the way he wanted to, so what he's decided to do is go small and put ball pressure on him that way. That's how he got the 5-second count.
Bryant guarded by Hamilton. Fisher from the corner. Lakers by a deuce, 73-71.
Yeah, and I think when Larry Brown, the counter for that is to go small with them. Not as small as the Lakers, but to match up a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised to see Ben Wallace or Corliss Williamson come out of the game right now.
Phillips stays on the bench. Hunter stays in. Here's Hamilton. Drives on Walton. Doesn't go. Rush gets the board. Fisher, he's got Wallace on him outside. Now Wallace switches off underneath. Kobe takes it. Not too many guys make that shot.
No, not too many guys make that agile or that shot. But I tell you, this last minute and a half has been caused by going small. The substitution by Phil Jackson. Excellent move.
Luke Walton has played 15 minutes. He has 7 assists. Fisher for 3. Bryant for 2. And the Magic Man loves it. Lakers by 4.
The NBA Finals, Lakers Pistons Game 3, Thursday night, 8:30 Eastern on ABC.
The NBA Finals on ABC, brought to you by Allstate. Are you in good hands? Sprite Remix Berry Clear. Rethink, remix, refresh. Nike. And Bacardi Silver Limon. Premium malt beverage. Flavor your night.
Back in Los Angeles, you're part of the process in terms of voting for the NBA Finals MVP. There's the information. Your Verizon wireless phone, number 222, or log on to NBA.com. And you're in the process. Right now, the Pistons are in the process of trying to close the gap again as we go to Michelle.
All right, Al, well, prior to Game 1, Phil Jackson told me the Lakers were not familiar enough with the Pistons this season, and that concerned him. Tonight, I asked him how much he learned about the Pistons in Game 1. He told me we were soundly defeated in Game 1. We learned the Pistons get a lot of help from their bench, but we still have not seen their full arsenal. It makes you think they're learning on the job. Now let's check in with Stu.
Michelle, during the timeout, Larry Brown gathered his team around and he said, guys, I couldn't write it any better than this. We're in their home court. They had a 12-point lead on us, and we're in this thing. He said, what just happened? The Lakers' little mini run before the timeout. He said, that's just 2 minutes. That's all that is. 2 minutes. Al?
2 minutes with 7:39 to play in the fourth. The foul was on Derek Fisher. Lakers' second team foul. Fisher's second. Detroit has not committed a team foul in this period. Wallace has it swatted away. Now Billups gets tripled, and then Ben Wallace underneath gets hammered by O'Neal. 4 fouls on Shaquille O'Neal.
But not a bad one. You know, Shaquille O'Neal is looking at this. They have a 4-point lead. They're on a run. If he allows Ben Wallace to have that dunk, that's 2 points. If he fouls him, there's a chance, and pretty good chance, that he'll split them at best.
Right, just like O'Neal, a 40-some-odd% free throw shooter.
That just saved 1 point. That
Right
foul.
there. Hack a Ben.
Hack a Ben.
Missed them both. Bryant gets the rebound. So as it turns out, 4th foul, a little dangerous. Turns out in that particular possession to be the right thing, as Big Ben is now 2 of 8 from the stripe. And then Bryant gets fouled by Prince. First team foul.
You can see the adjustment Kobe Bryant has made in this game, other than Game 1 where he was settling for jump shots. He is really attacking the basket and using the in-between game more.
They inbounded with 14 on the reset timer.
Boy, Shaq wants the ball.
Gets it. 4 on the clock. And Ben Wallace rejects it soundly.
That doesn't happen very often.
Prince, defended by Bryant, works off the screen, gets free but misses, but then gets his own rebound and gets fouled. Foul on Bryant.
Well, I tell you, Tayshaun Prince is just so long. He's making things happen.
14 offensive rebounds for Detroit. That's 4 now on Bryant. So Bryant has 4. O'Neal has 4. The only Piston with 4 would be Eldon Campbell, who comes off the bench. Phillips on the run. Got fouled. Foul is on Fisher.
Yeah, you're going to see a steady dose now of pick and roll from the Detroit Pistons. They know that Shaq doesn't want to help. One of the reasons Shaquille O'Neal doesn't like helping out is because he picks up little chippy fouls by showing. So he hates doing it. Now with 4 fouls, Larry Brown knows there's no way he's going to show.
Chauncey Billups is 12 out of 13 from the free throw line, which figures he was an 88% free throw shooter during the regular season and 88 coming into this game in postseason. Makes them both, and the Pistons have cut it to 2. Shaquille O'Neal blank in this quarter. He has 20 in the game. Walton sets the screen for Bryant. 18-footer doesn't go, but Shaquille is there for the rebound. And then out of bounds, Wallace was there, and they say it's off Big Ben. Fisher will inbound it. Here's Walton. Dishes it to O'Neal, and will that be an offensive foul? Oh, baby. Wow. That's 5. And keep in mind, too, if you go into overtime. I mean, you've got 5 right now, so you have 6:17 left. And who knows if it winds up in a tie. And now Malone comes off the bench, and Jackson is compelled to sit O'Neal at this point.
And I thought that was a bad call. I really did. I thought it was more of a flop on Ben Wallace's part, but great flop because he drew the foul.
Hollywood, it works.
Yes.
Here's Rasheed Wallace trying to angle. Malone is there. Rasheed misses, but again, another offensive rebound. Ben Wallace.
Well, you know, Al, the Lakers decided to go small. That's fine when you have Shaq in because he is so big, he can cover up some mistakes. Now they're small. It'll be interesting if they can hang on the boards with the Pistons.
Small, and they have to go with Malone as their big guy, and he's got the bad knee. Fisher missing. Back come the Pistons with a chance to tie it or take the lead with a 3.
Really surprised that they're not going low with Rasheed Wallace with Luke Walton guarding him. Oh, there he is.
There he is. Rasheed Wallace to the hoop. Tied at 75.
Yeah, with Walton guarding Rasheed Wallace and him wanting to help Walton as much as he does, you kind of felt that they had to go to Rasheed Wallace.
5:16 remaining in regulation. 75 all in Game 2 of the NBA Finals.
I know him, man.
75. Byron Scott, Shaq with 5 fouls. When would you go back to him if you were coaching L.A.?
Well, you know what, Mike? It really depends a lot on the time of the game, and it also depends on what the score is. You know, if L.A. can keep a lead, I would probably keep him out till about the 3-minute mark, the 3-minute-and-a-half mark.
Who's going to do a better job of not only scoring the last 5 minutes, but making plays for their teammates? Chauncey Billups or Kobe Bryant?
A reminder, your late local news, Nightline, and Jimmy Kimmel Live come up after the game. But Alan, Doc, we could be here for a while. Back down to you guys courtside.
75 all, guys, as you look at Shaq with his 5 fouls. How important is Shaq to the Lakers? If you projected it on a 48-minute basis or the time of a game, when he's been on the court, the Lakers would win the game by 8 points. When he's off the court, they would lose the game 94-70. They'd be a 24-point loser.
Yeah, and most coaches all go by plus minus. And I mean, it's an obvious one, Alan. You're right. When Shaq's off the floor, they are a different basketball team for a lot of reasons. Obviously because of his size, but because their offense starts through Shaquille O'Neal. Without him on the floor, it really is a different type of triangle offense.
5 minutes of a critical game as Bryant drives all the way to the hoop and gives L.A. a 2-point lead.
Well, I tell you, Kobe Bryant has made some of the most difficult shots that I've seen in a long time in one game.
Rasheed Wallace. Billups. 77 all.
Yeah, and that play was set up. It was looking like they wanted to go to Rasheed Wallace, and that's what they were trying to sell. But that play was out of a timeout all the way for Chauncey Billups.
Billups has 27 points off his 22-point performance in game 1. Walton feeds it back to Bryant. 6 on the shot clock. Now 3. Kobe's going to get it off. And it's tapped back out to Hamilton. Detroit with a chance to get the lead back. 4 minutes to play.
You can hear the tension in this building.
Hamilton driving. Got it. Shaquille O'Neal is ready to report back in.
Yeah, I think what Phil Jackson is doing is looking at the score and not the clock on when to sub.
And Bryant is furious he didn't get a foul.
Wow. It did look like he was hit on the arm on the shot.
Hamilton. 8 on the shot. Malone goes down, no foul. It's dropped off. Reverse layup and jammed by Ben Wallace. Timeout Lakers. They can't afford another moment before getting O'Neal back in the game. Bryant giving Bennett Salvatore, one of the officials, more of a piece of his mind. And the Lakers have anything but peace of mind right now. Detroit on a 6-0 run. And the Pistons trying to go up 2 games to love, on top by 4. With a little bit more than 3 minutes to play in the 4th quarter, the Detroit Pistons, who stunned the Lakers the other night, are trying to do it again. And that'll make it a much happier red-eye flight back to Detroit. Back to Bryant. He thought he was fouled.
Yeah, and he probably has a pretty good case here. You can see the handshake not allowing Kobe to follow through. You know what officials usually go by is the flight of the ball. If the flight of the ball looks strange, then usually it's a foul. And look at Jack.
Says that's as bad as it gets. O'Neal back in. So the Lakers down the stretch now with Fisher and Rush. Bryant, Walton, and O'Neal.
This is going right to Shaq.
With his 5 fouls. Now Rush to Fisher in the corner for a big 3. Ooh, is that a big 3?
Boy, I tell you what.
Wow.
Great patience down by Rush.
Crowd on its feet. Hamilton. Fisher couldn't get the rebound, and Wallace takes it out of his hand and puts it in. Fisher was there, but Big Ben took it away and jammed it.
And again, Phil Jackson has decided to go small again. And by going small, you're going to give up some offensive rebounds.
Rush couldn't get it into O'Neal. Bryant all the way. How did he do that?
I have no
How
idea.
did he do that?
Al, did you think he could get through?
Two guys are coming over. I mean, it's like there's nothing there. Hamilton, big deuce.
They're going to have
85-82.
to put Kobe Bryant back on Rip Hamilton because Rip missed the last shot that was open for him. They ran the exact same play, and he made that one.
Here's Bryant for the tie. O'Neal trying to get the rebound. It's loose. Detroit has it, but it was on the end line. Last touched by a Laker, and Detroit has it.
Quick shot from Kobe there. I was really surprised that early in the possession that he would go for that deep of a three-point shot.
Down by 3, thinking 3 at that point. Huge defensive possession here. Detroit possession for the Lakers. Hamilton almost has it taken away. A foul is called. They're going to call it on Fisher.
Now again, Rush guarding Rip Hamilton, and Rip Hamilton is starting to make things happen. Now, the reason that it's very difficult to take Kobe off and put him on is because Kobe is guarding Tayshaun Prince. But you can see the reach there and the foul.
Hamilton now 3 out of 4 from the line. It's a 4-point lead. 79 seconds to play. 23 for Hamilton. 27 for Billups. Got them both up by 5. The Lakers have 4 guys on the court who can make threes. Fisher, Walton, Rush, and Bryant. Here goes Bryant. Smells the basket, gets fouled on the way in.
Yeah, not a bad option, getting a quick foul by Kobe Bryant. You can see his adjustment is to attack the basket. They need to do this. This is what's difficult now, Al, because you would love to go to Shaquille O'Neal, but the Detroit Pistons absolutely will foul Shaq if he gets too deep now. See, this is where Kobe has to take the game over, and the Pistons know it.
That was Rasheed Wallace's 4th foul, and of all things, Bryant, terrific from the line, misses that. That's the lineup coming up next. Local news, Nightline, Jimmy Kimmel Live, except on the West Coast. Here comes Malone into the game. Rush goes out.
Yeah, and this is a defensive substitution. This is also a substitution now to allow Kobe Bryant to switch back over to Rip Hamilton.
1 of 2 for Bryant. 87-83. Ticking down to a minute. Phillips. Chauncey clearing it out. Then Hamilton gets free. Shot clock at 6. What a rebound by Wallace, and he puts it back in. He is just magnificent on the glass. 14 rebounds for Ben Wallace. Now Shaq has to get it out to Malone, looking for the 3. Here's Bryant, a pressured 3. That doesn't go. O'Neal with a rebound, gets the putback and gets fouled. And now up comes a huge foul shot for O'Neal.
And of all the times not to foul Shaq, that was the time.
That was the time. Exactly.
You know, again, Ben Wallace had Luke Walton guarding him because Karl Malone tried to help on the shot by Rip Hamilton.
Now Kareem Rush comes back in. Jackson's got to get his 3-point man back out, and he replaces Derek Fisher.
Yeah, and the reason he's bringing a big lineup in because he's worried about the size of Billups. Now, so what Phil Jackson is going to do, he's going to put Rush back on Hamilton, and he's going to put Kobe on Billups because of the size factor.
Not elegant. A line drive goes in. It's a 3-point game. Shaq 9 of 14. And Hamilton Hamilton avoids a double team by Walton and Rush, and then takes a timeout as they stayed with him right to the sideline. So 30.4 seconds remain, 19 on the 24, and Detroit up by 3. If the Lakers lose, and we mentioned it a couple of times already tonight, no team has ever lost 2 at home, the first 2, and gone on to win it. Detroit would then simply have to win 2 of 3 at home. The Lakers would be forced into a situation they'd have to win 4 of 5. They came from down 2 to San Antonio, but those 2 losses were on the road.
Well, and this was huge right here by Rip Hamilton because he was trapped. Kareem Rush let him out of that trap. I tell you, Rip Hamilton had nowhere to go, made a great spin move, and tightrope the sideline. You know, little plays make series. That was a huge play. All he did was broke the half-court line. That's all he needed to do. Now they have a timeout and a chance to drop a play. The key for the Pistons right now is obviously they don't want to take a quick shot. They want to use the clock and probably get the ball in Billups or Hamilton's hands. We'll probably run a pick and roll somewhere with Wallace, Rasheed Wallace, and look for that shot.
Do the Lakers take a chance and foul early?
They could. They could think about it. The problem is Rip Hamilton is an excellent free throw shooter. So is Billups. Now, some coaches would foul and just say, I don't care, let's extend the game. I think Phil Jackson is thinking, with 30 seconds left, if we get a stop, we can go for a 3 to tie the score. So he might decide not to foul.
Kobe Bryant, meanwhile, who's normally a pretty good three-point shooter, 33% in his career. In the fourth quarter in the playoffs, he's 4 for 28.
You can say he's struggling or he's good. It depends on what side of the pitch you're on.
Probably a combo platter. Prince to inbound.
If Ben Wallace touches the ball, they will foul him.
11-second differential. A little handoff, like a football handoff to Billups. He'll go all the way. There's no foul call, but the Lakers get the rebound. And here comes Kobe. He looks over at the bench. Phil says, well, it's interesting. Phil, at first, didn't call for the timeout. Bryant took it into the front court, which is one of the things he wanted to do. And then Walton looked over and saw Jackson and called the timeout with 10.9.
You know what he wanted? He wanted them to get the rebound and push it up and look for a quick 3. But because they took their time, then he decided we have to call a timeout. He wanted them to go.
Yeah, he was caught in between in a way, yeah.
You can see him sitting at first waiting, and then because they were so passive coming up the floor, it was a good timeout.
Now,
as a coach, I think that's a good move.
The one thing Jackson has done, he's left himself without a timeout. How big is it? Well, especially in the inbounds pass, it could be big. Never forget, there were 2 timeouts called before Derek Fisher hit his shot with 0.4 of a second in San Antonio. So they were able to, in effect, set up 3 different plays. So they have to make sure they can inbound the ball here because they do not have a timeout remaining.
Yeah, and that's big. It's big for a couple of reasons. If they had a timeout, Al, they would probably go for a 2 and then foul and then call a timeout after the free throws. But because they don't have a timeout, they're almost forced now into taking a 3-point shot unless they can get a quick 2, and I mean a quick 2.
In the Fisher game, that play Jackson drew up when they huddled had nothing to do with the play he knew they would run. They were going to run it, at least in terms of pattern, and then call a timeout. Now they can't. This has to be his A inbounds play. The Lakers are 5 out of 16 as a team from three-point land tonight. Malone will inbound. Fisher's in the game. Walton, O'Neal, and of course Bryant.
And everyone is paying attention to Kobe Bryant.
They start with Shaq. He gives it to Walton. Here comes Kobe. Less than 5 from way outside. Got it! Oh, man! With 2.1. I can can only think of the words of my pal John Davidson, who just finished the Stanley Cup playoffs. He has the greatest phrase for this. Oh, baby.
I can think of one name. Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan. Kobe Bryant has it. Whatever that it is, Al, he has it. He has the ability to make big shots. The mistake there was Rip Hamilton giving room. You can see him backing up. You know he has to take a three-point shot. I was really surprised that Rip Hamilton gave him so much room. Now in Rip's defense, what Rip was thinking is don't foul the shooter. But you have to know that Kobe Bryant is going to take that shot. There was only 3 seconds on the clock. You have to know it, and you have to get up into him and force him to do something else. But I tell you, Kobe Bryant has it just like Michael Jordan had it. They have the ability to make shots. You just showed that Kobe Bryant in the fourth quarter was 14% from the three-point line. And when that ball went up, I believe you and me both believe that that thing was going in.
Better than 50-50, I know that. You know, Shaquille had the big three-point play, made the foul shot. Bryant made it. Now, again, Detroit inbound in the front court. 2.1 remaining.
You know, and it was interesting, too, there, because the Pistons had a chance to foul Shaq when he touched the ball.
Bryant with 29 points. Prince will inbound. Pistons line up vertically, break it. Prince looking. And then it's taken away by Malone, who falls into the photographers. The game clock shows 0, and we will go to overtime. Rasheed Wallace was the guy they were trying to get it to. And the last thing Malone is thinking about right here is his knee. He could care less at that point. That's mind over matter. And then there's Bryant. What a game. We go to overtime. The NBA Finals on ABC. Wow. Let's get loud. Before Jerry West made this unbelievable shot, game 3 against the Knicks. In the years before, a three-pointer. That was a 2, sent the game to overtime, but New York eventually won the game. Then there was the baby hook by Magic against Boston in game 4 in 1987. There was Ori against Sacramento. Ori almost did that again the following year against San Antonio. Fisher, of course, this will live forever. And then, of course, there's Bryant. You knew sooner or later Kobe would be in that highlight package.
Yeah, and as big as Fisher's shot was, Al, I'm going to just say right now, this shot was bigger. This shot was bigger. Because if they go down 0-2, losing both home games, going back to Detroit, I don't think we see L.A. again.
Doc, I've covered a lot of sports, a lot of teams through the years. The Lakers this year, completely off the charts. Not only on the court, but I mean with an Eagle Colorado dateline all year long, the Malone and Peyton saga, Shaq, the whole story. The kids coming off the bench, Phil Jackson, will they be together much longer? I mean, every day it's something. Here we go to overtime. Each team with their 3 regular timeouts, and the Pistons didn't use their 22nd, and that carries to the 4th, so they have in effect an extra timeout.
And the biggest part of this overtime is 2 things. 1, Shaq has 5 fouls, and 2, 64% of the time, the team who scores the first bucket now wins the game.
There it is right there, 6 and you're gone. Both Wallace's and Campbell with 4, Peyton, Fisher, and Bryant with 4. To Shaq. LA on an 8-0 run.
Everyone is standing around right now for the Pistons.
Rasheed Wallace. And O'Neal fights for the rebound. It goes out of bounds. They're going to give it to Detroit. Walton and O'Neal right there, out of bounds. Fresh 24.
Yeah, you can see that last possession. Everyone on Detroit was standing around waiting for the other guy to do something.
Phillips guarded by Fisher. Hamilton, Kobe comes in there, and Kobe gets the foul. And that's 5 fouls on Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, so they're a foul away from being in a big trouble. And as crazy as it sounds, in an overtime period, down the stretch, the guy that they can't lose is Kobe Bryant.
So Bryant and O'Neal each with 5, with 4:11 left in the overtime period. Non-shooting foul. Phillips off balance, doesn't get it. That time they had moved Shaq outside. Can't take the chance of him fouling underneath.
No, they couldn't. And not only that, they couldn't take the chance of Shaq stepping out.
Bryant off a Malone screen all the way. Oh, got the bounce. 31 for Bryant, 25 for O'Neal. No other Laker in double figures. Phillips has 27. Hamilton has 24 for the Pistons. Phillips carrying on a conversation with Steve Javie. Shot clock at 7. Hamilton whips it outside to Prince. Shot clock at 1. Did he get it off? No, he didn't.
The Pistons are standing around now and watching. They're not moving the ball like Larry Brown wants them to. They're not as active. They are almost shell-shocked from that shot that Kobe made. And now Kobe Bryant is taking over this game.
Crowd uproarious. Walton. Bryant. Here's O'Neal. 6-point lead. Near steal by Fisher.
Near backcourt by Fisher, or by Billups as well.
Timeout Detroit. Larry Brown's best friend is Greg Popovich. I was talking to Larry last night. He said, Greg still really hasn't recovered from what happened to his team. And now Larry's sitting in the same seat, in the same situation, in effect, that Greg was that night in San Antonio.
Yeah, he really is. You know what the difference is, though? If the Pistons do lose this game, they've won 1 on the road, and they go back to Detroit for 3.
LA by 6.
Good. Now the line below it.
DPLTC.
Now the bottom one.
ZOL. Doc, I can't see when you're doing that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
CFT.
Thanks, Mr. Kidd.
Richard, your car's being towed. What?
What?
Oh. Hey. It's my car.
Let's get it started. Let's get it started. Yeah. Let's get it started. Let's get it started. Yeah.
Next, your late local news, except on the West Coast, and we go to Auburn Hills, to the Palace. Thursday, that's the 3rd game. We know there'll be a 4th game on Sunday night. If necessary, a 5th game on Tuesday. The Lakers trying to square it. That would cement a game 5.
At this rate,
on a 12-0 run.
At this rate, I would like to see an 11-game series.
At least. Hamilton, little runner in the lane goes to make it a 4-point
Good
lead.
move by Larry Brown. He knows now that if Rip Hamilton is aggressive, Kobe Bryant has to avoid the foul.
Has to back off. Lakers trailed 89-83 with 36 seconds left. O'Neal, the three-point play. Bryant had the three. Kobe off the glass.
Wow.
He lives for this. He just lives for this. 33 for Bryant. Billups inside the arc. Would have been a 2. Malone gets the rebound. Ticking down to 2 minutes. And then Bryant loses the ball.
Yeah, he was trying to do too much there, but I can understand after watching his last one.
Here's Rasheed Wallace for 3, not even close, and Fisher gets the board. A little bit of clock milking time for the Lakers right here. Minute and a half, 6-point lead.
Big possession right here. Going to Shaq.
Inside, gets doubled. Walton. O'Neal! Luke with the assist. There's Dad beaming. Assists. Perfectly placed. Showtime redux.
Oh, God.
Eight assists tonight, most by a rookie in his first finals game. And it is his first because he didn't play in game 1 against Philadelphia. Magic Johnson had 8 in the 1980 finals. Meanwhile, there's Bryant, 14 in the 4th and overtime. He had 19 in the first 3 quarters. It's an 8-point game, a minute 22. Detroit inbounding in the front court. Rasheed Wallace from outside. That would have been a 3 by Hamilton. Slotted around. Comes back into the hands of Hamilton, and now nothing dropping for Detroit. Hamilton will try it again. Still nothing. 3 possessions, they do nothing. The crowd with a Luke serenade. Seven on the timer. Bryant. Lakers get it back. And that will just about, as the late, great Chick Hearns would say, the eggs are cooling, the butter's getting hard, it's in the refrigerator. It's an ode to one of the great broadcasters, maybe the best ever.
Yeah, he really was. And boy, I tell you, he has seen or saw a lot of great ones, but this one was a great one.
I'm telling you. Thinking about him in a situation like this, with the history of this Laker franchise, with all of the drama. For the Pistons now, that red-eye flight, which we had talked about as being a short one, will become about 4 hours longer.
It's going to be a long flight, and they don't expect to get in until about 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning.
Lakers will fly tomorrow. It's an off day. 4th game would be Sunday night. The 3rd game on Thursday night as Bryant drives in. Actually has that one cleanly blocked. And now Hamilton gets fouled by Devin George.
And good foul because the Detroit Pistons are not in the penalty. Devin George got in front of the ball, and so the Pistons have to take it out on the side.
Lindsey Hunter and Corliss Williamson will come in. The Lakers on the verge of squaring the series and guaranteeing a 5th game. Meanwhile, Gary Payton, and that has been the case for most of the year, on the bench in the 4th. Brian Russell, Slava Medvedenko. Of course, with Kareem Rush And the rest. And tonight it was Luke Walton's turn to come off the bench and do it.
And one question has been answered in this game. Will Kobe Bryant be tired at the end of the game? By guarding Billups and by guarding Rip Hamilton, I think Phil Jackson now has his answer. If Rip Hamilton is the best conditioned athlete in the world, then Kobe is number 2.
This was a tour de force. And Larry very upset, of course, about everything right now, really chewing out Hamilton. Phil Jackson did his share of chewing out tonight. A little Bryant look.
I mean, the degree of difficulty on most of these shots, especially this one, which was actually one of his easier shots, are amazing. He has all the tricks offensively, all of them.
Since the Lakers trail with 36 seconds to go, 89-83, Bryant goes down. There's no foul called. Shaquille O'Neal has 9 points. Kobe Bryant has 7 points. They have all 16 with 5 fouls. Amazing. What a game. What a game. Auburn Hills is next. Tell you what, this is going to be some series.
It really is, Al.
What a start.
Well, like I told you, get very comfortable because this series is going to go deep. And I think what stands out to me, a great comeback by the Lakers, but the Pistons are going to be here for this series.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, they're disheartened right now. They got their 1, but they thought they should have had 2. Here's Michelle.
Go. Hey, I'm with Kobe Bryant. Kobe, what is it about pressure situations and overtime that brings out the best in you with 5 fouls, no less?
You know, it's all about the challenge. I mean, we're playing for the highest stakes, and I can rise to that.
Talk about that 3-point shot you took to tie it up and send it to overtime. What was the play, and what went through your mind right as you launched that?
Well, the play was for Shaquille to give me a good down pick. I came off, Luke ran and drove a weave with me instead, and I had Richard on me, and I just tried to gather my balance, back him up, and knock it down.
You look at the way that this game went. Detroit really made it tough for you. What do you see now for the rest of this series?
A challenge. It's going to be a dogfight. Nobody said it was going to be easy in this. You know, we're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to going up there.
Shaq talked about the pressure in this game because to go down 0-2 as the home team would have been disastrous. How did you guys battle through that pressure?
Well, I mean, it is what it is. And we have to rise up to that challenge, step up. You know, this is what we do for a living. And, you know, if you can't rise up to the pressure right now, you shouldn't be playing.
All right, Kobe, congratulations. Thanks for stopping.
Thank you.
Let's send it back to you guys.
Thank you, Michelle. Series starts out. It's going to be one for the ages, Doc.
Wow. I tell you, this game, you know, the pressure shots, the missed free throws, the made free throws, the big defensive stands was a great game to watch. I think the series is going to be like this.
Lakers outscored them 10-2 in overtime. Just a magnificent game.
Wow.
So we go to Auburn Hills, Michigan. Game 3 coming up on Thursday night. Game 4 on Sunday night. We know there'll be a 5th game next Tuesday night. ABC Sports Online at ESPN.com. And once again, our final score in overtime, the Los Angeles Lakers 99, the Detroit Pistons 91. Now this is Al Michaels for Doc Rivers, Michelle Tafoya, Stuart Scott, and our entire ABC crew saying good night from Los Angeles. From Tinseltown to Motown, we go.